Hi, I'm Becky Nunn, owner and creator of the Patera jewelry finding line. Patera is Latin for ornamental amulet and is cast in the United States. Designer Lynn Maloney will be teaching us in this segment how you can take our raised and flat tags, our Patera transfer sheets, and our Patera UV resin to create fabulous projects.
Hi, today I'd like to show you a few different ways to use our transfer sheets on the Patera flat tags and the Patera raised tags. Our Patera collage and transfer sheets offer you dozens of beautiful images to use in all your jewelry projects. And you'll find helpful instructions and tips in every package. So let's get started with the easier project first. The materials that I'm using for these projects today include a paintbrush and a small glass of water, scissors, our decorative words transfer sheets, acrylic varnish, the Patera flat tags in the large thin and the grande thin, a small dish of water, the Patera large circle adjustable ring, the Patera large square punch, the Patera grande square raised tag, another transfer sheet. This one is the Collage birds, and we'll be using the Gel de Soleil UV resin along with the UV lamp. To start with, I'm going to cut out a word from the transfer sheet and apply it to one of the grande tags. And I've chosen the word yummy here. I simply cut it out, and I cut very, very closely to the letters. I take my word and I drop it in my small dish of water. It needs to be in there about 30 or 40 seconds, and then I'll be ready to take it out. So while it's in the dish of water, the top filmy part is separating from the paper backing. I'll dab off a little bit of the water on my paper towel, and then I'm going to just apply the transfer directly to the metal. And it just slides right off, and I can get rid of the paper backing. I have some time to move it around and place it how I like. And then I set it down on my table and just dab with the paper towel, and I'm removing excess water and then any air bubbles that might be caught between the film and the metal. Now it's dry and ready for a coat of varnish. You do need to seal the transfer sheets on the bare metal, so I'm just using a basic acrylic varnish. Satin is a good option because then you don't get anything too shiny if you just want the metal to shine through. One easy thin coat. Set it down, let it dry, and then I'll go ahead and choose different words from my transfer sheets for my remaining tags and apply them in exactly the same way. In the next part of the project, I'm going to create even more depth and dimension by adding another transfer image on top of the cured UV resin. The first step of this project is punching out my bird image and applying it to my grande tag. And the easiest way to work with a punch is to flip it upside down so you're looking directly down at the metal die, and you slide your transfer sheet right in there. You can look down and line it up perfectly, and then press down. And now my transfer sheet goes into my little dish of water. Once again, I'll let my transfer soak in the water about 30 to 40 seconds. I pull it up. I see that the film has separated from the paper, and I will go ahead and dab a little bit of the water off. It's just easier to work with that way. And I'll slide the image directly onto my grande raised tag. And then just discard the backing paper. I'll set that down, dab it with my paper towel, taking away moisture and forcing out any air bubbles. Next, I do need to seal it, and I'll give it just a thin coat of varnish. And just put my brush in the water. I'll leave that there to dry before I put on the gel de soleil. And I have one that's ready here that's already dry. So I'm going to work with this one. I'll open up my gel, pour it directly on, and then I'll twirl it so that it just flows to all the edges of the tag. Now it's ready to cure in the UV lamp. So I'll turn on my lamp and slide it in and let it cure for about 20 minutes. The next part of the process is adding another transfer image on top of my cured piece. And I want to add the word seek on top of my bird image. So I cut out my transfer, cutting closely to the letters. And I'll drop that in my dish of water, about 30 or 40 seconds. The idea here is to build up dimension by layering the transfer images on top of each other and then curing them in between. It just adds depth and dimension to the piece. I'll slide it right on top of the cured UV resin, just discarding that backing paper. And I have some time to move it around so that I can see all the letters and see that it reads seek. Now I'll take my paper towel and just dab the excess water off and get rid of any air bubbles. And now I'm ready to apply another layer of the gel de soleil. Just as I did before, pour it right on there, just a little puddle, and twirl it around, letting it flow to all the edges of the tag. And now I'm ready to cure it under my UV lamp. And I'll just slide it right in there and let it cure for about 20 minutes. I wanted to go ahead and make a coordinating ring to go with my necklace. I've made myself just an easy little ring holder here out of a little square of styrofoam so that my ring sets in there nice and level. So these are just a few ideas for using the transfer sheets with the various patera pieces. It's really fun to use the variety of images in coordinated jewelry pieces like I did with the pendant and the ring.